it's Kara here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about being vegetarian. I got some questions on one of my more recent videos because I mentioned I was vegetarian for a long time. So a couple people were asking me my thoughts on if I think you can be a vegetarian and compete and all that stuff. So I'm just going to share with you my experience. I was vegetarian for about 10 years. I became vegetarian when I was 14 or 15 years old. I think I was 14. I just randomly decided I didn't want to eat meat. I didn't, it was kind of trendy. My sister was doing it, so I always wanted to do what my older sister was doing. And then it just kind of stuck. Like I just, I was always cautious about my food choices at a young age. And I think it was a way for me to kind of like minimize bad choices with eating out, fast food and things like that. It's really hard to do. Well, it's easier nowadays, but back then it was really tough, like growing up in Messina, New York, being vegetarian. So I was vegetarian from the age of like, I don't know, it was like between 13 to 15, all through like, adolescence, through college, getting my degree to become a dietitian, and I just kind of always like thought, I might be vegetarian forever, I might not. I really didn't think that hard about it. I was not any type of activist. It did the thought of eating meat for me at that time did kind of gross me out. So there was no real motivation there for me to eat meat. And I've worked out ever since I was in high school. So I was always very into being athletic. So looking back now, I think I was kind of like the skinny fat type that people speak about. But anyways, fast forward to about the age of 25, 26, and I started working out at a local gym with bodybuilders. That's when I really started lifting and, learning how to lift and work out differently. Instead of just running marathons, I was like the total classic, like cardio queen, long distance runner, lifted a little weights, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and eating vegetarian. So I was eating very high carbs, not really focusing too much on protein. I ate a lot of dairy though, so a lot of my protein came from dairy, and that was really it, fairly low fat, but, no real rhyme or reason to it. That's just what I did. So when I started working out at the gym here, and I really wanted to start seeing results, and I wanted a more muscular physique. I didn't want to just be skinny. I wanted to be muscular and look good. And when I started doing those programs to focus more on weightlifting, and I started a clean eating diet program for about 6 weeks, my only protein options that I was given were egg whites, whey protein, and I begged for some Boca burgers to be added in there because I needed more. So I was eating a shit ton of eggs, protein shakes, Boca burgers, and that was like the extent of my protein when I started doing like your typical clean eating, eat 6 meals a day when I made that whole switch. So I did that for a period of time, and I lost quite a bit of weight, just cleaning up my diet, of course, like most people do, working out differently. And I'm 5'2". You guys know right now I weigh about 116, 117 pounds. But at that time I was like 108 pounds was my usual. And I dropped down to like 98 pounds, 100 pounds. And I just didn't look good. I mean, I was eating very strict though, don't get me wrong. But I really felt like at that time, I don't know, I just felt like I was missing something. Like my body, I just felt like I was missing nutrition. Like, could I have been a better vegetarian eater and made better choices with making complete protein choices and all that stuff? Sure. But I just felt like I was missing something, and no one encouraged me to start eating meat. My trainers didn't, my husband didn't, no one cared. It was more me. Like the more I thought about it, all the protein sources I purchased are all processed shit. Like, no offense to any of my vegetarian followers, but I was just sick and tired of having to buy everything that came out of a freezer in a box. Like, I wanted to eat like natural things, and that was just kind of like the shift in my mind and my outlook. So, all the vegetarian things I ate were like vegetarian chicken nuggets and patties and burgers, and when you look at the ingredient list, they're a mile long, and I was just at the point where I didn't think that was right. I didn't think that was what was really properly fueling my body, and I was feeling it. And I also did struggle with iron deficiency anemia since a very young age. I mean, that's common for most women anyways, obviously, due to menstruation, but you know, I was very anemic. And when you're anemic, you're freaking tired all the time. Like, just going from sitting to standing, you get lightheaded, and it's no way to feel to be tired all the time. It's exhausting, especially like being young. So I made the change. I just randomly told my husband one night, I said, I think I want to start eating meat. I think I might, you know, do that because I think I'd see an improvement in my muscle mass. At the gym, like I said, when I had lost the weight, I lost a lot of fat, but I didn't gain a ton of muscle when I started lifting heavy. And that was the thing. I'm like, I want to start gaining muscle. I don't want to just be a skinny little girl, you know? And it bothers me when I see people comment on videos like, oh, she's just skinny. Like, nothing irritates me more because I don't desire to be skinny. I desire to look fit, look strong and active. So for me at the time, it all finally like made sense, you know, like everything just kind of came together, and I was like, that's it, I want to start eating meat. So it was seriously like overnight. I told my husband, and then he ended up, I let him kind of guide me as to what would be the best choices, so I didn't get sick, because I was a lacto-ovo vegetarian, so I didn't eat any fish or tuna either. You know, I wasn't vegan, so I did consume dairy and cheese and all that good stuff, but I didn't have meat in 10, 11, 12 years, except for a couple mishaps at a restaurant. So he started with turkey burger. So we got, like, he did the ground turkey and cooked that up for me. And that was one of the things one of you guys had asked me, how did I handle the change? And it's funny because I didn't have any issues. I ate the turkey burger and it was like, that was delicious. What's next? Like, I became a huge protein whore and I couldn't get enough. So I had no problems. You know, I've heard of some people like eat it and they get stomach aches and have all these issues and oh my God, I can't do it. I was fine. I was like, let's do this. Get me another plate. I didn't like start off like balls to the wall eating like red meat and pork and like weird stuff like that. I just did like leaner cuts of meat. So I started out with like turkey burger, chicken, and fish, and I had no issues eating that. And honestly, it was amazing like how my body responded. When I look back to that period of being vegetarian for so many years, my body has changed so much. To like the 3 months starting to eat meat, like I just felt so strong. I felt like that's when my body really finally started changing. You know, I really started, I mean, putting on muscle clearly doesn't happen overnight when you're like when you're a female in general, when you're a natural athlete. It doesn't happen easy. So it's still a work in progress, but it was amazing to see the change physically in my body and also how my body felt inside. You know, I felt so much better. Like I just felt like I was missing, like I said, good nutrition, and that I started getting in my diet, and it just kind of helped me eat more balanced. And you know, as a dietitian, I do like to practice what I preach, so you know, I felt like I was just in general like doing what was right for me and what felt good. So you know, I didn't start competing till I started eating meat. So for those of you that ask, like, do I think you can be a vegetarian or vegan and compete? It depends on the person. Like, I don't think there's a cut and dry yes or no answer. For me, I don't think so. Could I have? Sure, you can do anything you want to do in this world, but I don't think I would have done well on the stage. Even now for me, I struggle gaining muscle. Like, I'm trying to, like, you know, put on some mass here and some size, but freaking takes time, and you need adequate protein to do that. You don't need to freaking be eating 400 grams of protein, at least for someone of my height and weight. I don't. So again, if you know, that's not what I'm saying here by eating meat. Like, I eat a normal amount of meat, the recommendations for protein. So I just get it from better sources than I used to when I was vegetarian. And I think your body recognizes that and utilizes it differently when you're getting those complete sources of protein versus eating soy burgers. So I have seen people compete. I've seen, you know, MMA people that are vegans and vegetarians. I mean, it's not like you can't be an athlete and do that. It's possible. And even sometimes I have my days where I'm just like, I don't want to eat meat. I just want to eat carbs all day. I freaking love carbs. But, you know, I don't know. I feel more balanced. And like I said, I just feel healthier eating stuff from its natural state versus all the processed soy ingredients. So for me, this is what's worked, and I feel like it's working. So I never looked back. You know, I eat red meat. I eat all kinds of stuff now. So it's awesome. I love it. My body craves red meat like once a week. And, you know, I do. I just feel like I'm healthier now and I get better nutrition. I no longer have any issues with anemia. I mean, I'm like good to go in terms of my labs and how everything looks in terms of my health. So this is what's worked for me. So, and I'm definitely not knocking any vegetarians out there. I lived that lifestyle for 10 to 12 years. So I get it. And there are studies that support like vegetarians living long lives, you know, more than the average person. So definitely not knocking it. But for me, this is what works for me. And now I'm gonna go eat a big tuna steak. So that's it, guys. Hope this video was helpful, and keep checking back. It's beautiful out. Go to tigerfitness.com, use my link, and that's it. Don't forget to like my shit.